Oh no. It's giving Shadow the Hedgehog. Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald? Hi. Please, please, please. I know my hair is like dirty and disgusting. Please don't talk about it. Hi, okay, so in my waking life, I am a barista. I've been a barista at a couple of different places. Do I like it? Is a very complicated question with a lot of depth. I can't just say yes or no because neither would be honest. Some days I love it. Other days I'm like, why is this the only thing that I'm qualified to do? The only thing that I'm qualified to do and don't want to end myself every day. Most days. Depending on what location I'm working in. I've already smudged my makeup, oh my god. I don't know, I think being a barista, you are successful if you don't immediately hate strangers. This is something that I don't super like about myself. I think I'm a natural misanthropist. I just think, like, by default, people are aiming to harm and be mean and just ignorant and stupid and dumb and just other like negative connotations. And I don't know, I just don't like them. But other times it's pretty cool. Sometimes you meet some really friendly people and you know, they make the day go by faster. I've always really enjoyed I've mostly really enjoyed my coworkers at these places. I do like people. I would like to tell myself that. I've had like phases of really loving people and then others where I really don't. I don't know what that's based upon. I think it may be my stress levels or what's going on in my life. So it's really a me problem. But yeah, I just thought I'd put together a little list on how to really piss off a barista. Do you want to come up? Oh, wow, good girl. Hi, Editing Eddie here. Oh my god. Sorry, she's wearing a cone because she keeps licking at her wounds. I recognize this video might make me look a little bit uninviting, perhaps a little bit mean-spirited and such. This is honestly just like a massive over-exaggeration of these little mini micro-frustrations that I have in my day-to-day life as a barista. This is not meant like as a guide to etiquette in a cafe or anything. If anything, I mostly made it for fellow baristas. And yeah, this is all in good fun. Don't be afraid of going to your neighborhood cafe or anything. And if you see me, I'm not going to bite your face off. Probably. Let's start with something that happens like pretty regularly. I historically have been an opener, not because I'm a morning person. It's just I just think the world hates me and has decided that this not morning daytime person is going to be opener all these places. Coming right in like the minute that we open, fuck off. Give me time to adjust to what's happened. I might not even be done opening. There's a lot of shit that I've got to do. I don't know, there's something just so annoying about seeing someone stand right there with their arms crossed and like waiting for you to open the door. That's like really annoying. Don't do that. I don't know. Like, I guess I understand this if you're kind of in a rush, but also I'm also against the idea that people should go to like a place to get a prepared drink if they're in a rush. I stopped doing it because I've realized that it puts extra stress on me and it makes me kind of antsy, and I don't want that to rub off on like anyone that's preparing my food or drink. And you know, you just never know what could go wrong. Like, there could be more people ahead or something could be going wrong with like the staff or the operations of the cafe. But that's a whole other point. I'm still talking about coming in right at the minute that we open. I guess I don't actually have very much to say about it. It's just kind of annoying. Don't do it. I hate when people ask like all these questions. I feel like are like in a similar vein. They're like, what's better, you're this or you're this? And they're talking about like two completely different drinks. And I'm like, brother, you're comparing apples to whiteboards. I don't know, they're apples to oranges, I guess. Someone, for example, like someone was like, what's better, a latte or a matcha? I can't tell you what's better. It's like, neither of them are better than the other. They're both gonna taste fine. One of them is a tea and one of them is coffee. You can't really, you could probably say that about like an item from two different places. Like better for energy or like, you mean taste? Because those aren't really comparable. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna answer that question. Next up is like when someone's like, what's your best, like, right now I work at a cafe that like offers sandwiches, so they're like, what's your best sandwich? Again, I'm not going to answer that because someone might really like salmon. You might hate salmon. Like, everyone's best is gonna be different. You have to decide that for yourself. Don't ask me for that. Like, also along the lines of like, what's your most popular blank? Like, a lot of people have asked that throughout the places that I've worked, and I just don't really understand what that's supposed to answer for them. What if you don't like what the most popular item is? Like, and then I give it to you and you're like, this is disgusting. Like, the other question I really hate that people ask about items is like, is it good? No, it's terrible. I don't know why we have it on our menu. Motherfucker, what do you want me to say? Yes, obviously, we wouldn't be offering it if it wasn't. Sorry, I'm getting really heated over very things that don't matter at all. Historically, I have worked at places that are cashless just because it's safer and yeah, that's really it. It's also a little cleaner as well to just do like cards and like not have to handle anything or like, you know, even touchless payments. But multiple times at one of the locations that I've worked at, people would just absolutely throw a tantrum over the fact that we didn't accept cash. Maybe you also work in a maybe you also work in a place that is cashless and you don't know what to say when they're like, you don't take cash. My advice, honestly, mostly, first, just mention, sorry, I'm sorry, we don't have a register. We don't have change for your cash. And then if they're like, but I have exact change, well, we don't have a way to process it in the way that we get paid, so I'm sorry. We don't want to risk losing it because we don't have a designated spot for cash and stuff like that. And then just explain that, you know, it's been safer that way and stuff if you want to. You don't have to. You honestly don't have to owe them an explanation at all, but, you know, if they're complaining about it, they're probably going to want an answer. But yeah, I've had people that have complained about it and, you know, whatever, I'm sorry, you just have to turn them away sometimes. But there was this one particular customer at this one place, and he comes in and he's like, oh, that's really interesting. You know what, the place across from here also stopped taking cash and I stopped going there, so you wouldn't really want that. Oh no, you're so right, because I absolutely want to keep seeing you every day for the rest of the time that I'm working here, because you're so pleasant. I had a barista tell me that they were like, well, this is what the Democrats want, or something like that. I have no idea what they were on about. They have to make it political. They have to make a big scene about it. They can't just accept that you don't take cash. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. I think it's pretty annoying when someone hands you back like a hot drink and they're like, I wanted this hotter, like after you've made it and like put sugar in it and everything. I can't make the drink hotter for you because one, you've sipped from it, that's like cross-contamination with your backwash, and also it has like stuff in it that's gonna clog up our machine. I'm not really gonna explain this to you right now, but just you take my word for it, okay? I'm not gonna explain to you how a steam wand gets clogged up when you put sugar in it, or you know, things that aren't milk or water. I worked at a place that charged a single $1 for water if you weren't buying anything else. The reason that we did this was for safety reasons. There were lots of homeless people that came in at this location that abused that system, and like the line was drawn when one of them ruined it for everyone and threw a water cup at a barista. So they stopped offering free water to anyone that asked. So if people are charging for water, there's a reason. There's typically a reason. More often than not, there is a reason. Don't like start harassing the barista by saying, it's just water though, and don't do that. That you're not helping your case. That makes me want to give it to you even less. I will watch you dehydrate in this cafe. I'll do it. People that were like, this happened a lot also at that cafe, but there were lots of people, really entitled people that came in that were like, oh, I know the owner, and like, I'm friends with the owner. And like, you know, when the owner wouldn't like previously tell me like, hey, so-and-so is gonna come in, you can comp their drink or whatever. People just be making shit up, and I don't really like that. Also, you're coming in acting like an asshat, so no, I don't think I'm going to do that for you. I would be like, oh yeah, let me just text her and confirm. And more often than not, they were like, no, I don't know this person. Don't do that. We're not stupid. Okay, I know that tips are a hot conversation right now, I don't know why. It really shouldn't be. I'm sorry. I will be less angry at you for hitting no tip as compared to when you just walk away from the screen. Walking away from the screen tells me that you are pretending to act ignorant and not knowing of what's coming, even though you and I very much both know what's coming after I take your order. Not even like taking the time to look. Like, people will like look around and be like, oh, what's this wrapper on the floor? You know, like, don't play stupid with me. Just hit no, because then you're just being dishonest. And I hate that. This I haven't really experienced. I've had people that are like, could I get a blank for here? And I'm like, oh, actually all of our things are to go. Or I don't even tell them that, I just hand them the cup and they kind of get the idea. It's typically not the end of the world. But I had a coworker that told me that someone insisted that they had their drink for here, like in a mug and everything. And she just had to explain that, like, we only have to-go cups. We don't offer for here cups like most of the cafes around the world, I imagine. I'm sorry, we have long-lasting effects from a pandemic that nobody wanted. You can bring your own mug and we will make your drink in that mug if you want, but that's about it. I'm also not very interested in washing a stranger's dishes where their mouth has been. This is no disrespect to restaurant dishwashers. I respect you for what you do, and I'm sorry for what you do. Unless you really love it. Unless you really love it, then I'm happy for you. But personally, that's really not interesting to me. I've had someone ask if they can get a pour over iced. If you don't know what a pour over is, it's just like, so there's like a tube and you put the grounds in the tube and you have the coffee pot underneath. It's like a humanly done, it's like a drip done by a human. It's not automatic. We actually like take like boiling hot water and like pour it over the beans and just let it, you know, siphon through that cone. And we have a filter in the cone as well. But yeah, that's what a pour over is. It's not a drip. Don't ask for a drip. We don't have drip. It's a pour over. Someone asked me if someone asked me to get an iced pour over, and I was like, no. On that note, drinks that are like a certain way, like fixed drinks, I guess, can't change the recipe. If you change anything about the recipe, it makes it a totally different drink. People are like, can I get this pre-made drink but with oat milk instead of this other milk? And no, because then it's just a matcha, or, you know, whatever else it turns into when you deviate from the recipe. And then they kind of like get in a bit of a huff over it, and it's like, it is so not worth it. It is so not worth it, I promise you. So at the cafe that I work at, we also serve sandwiches, like I mentioned earlier, but the kitchen in the back closes a little bit before the rest of us close. And again, this didn't happen to me, this happened to a coworker of mine, but someone asked for a sandwich and my coworker was like, oh, we're not doing sandwiches right now. And they're like, why? They're like, the kitchen's closed. And then the customer was like, why, is your toaster broken? We can make the sandwiches without toasting them. That's fine. That's not the problem. That's not even a little bit the problem. It's closed, okay? You can't walk into a store after certain hours. You can't ask for certain things after certain hours. I'm sorry, it's closed. That's it. That's all it means. Anyway, I imagine she left in a huff, but I don't really know what happened. I just know that conversation happened. I have never worked at a Starbucks. I've only worked at like local coffee shops, except for one place that was kind of like a franchise, but I stayed there for like a month and then left because it was awful and the people there were mean. But at the smaller coffee and tea shops that I worked at, sometimes someone will come in and be like, I've only ever had Starbucks. I only like Starbucks. So, can you make this like a caramel frappuccino? And it's like, first of all, if you only like Starbucks, go to Starbucks then. I don't want to see you here and accommodate for your impossible requests. I'm not gonna do that. Second, we don't have a blender. Third, we don't have caramel. I don't know, just like, if you want a Starbucks drink, go to Starbucks. Why are you here? We're riddled with them over here. Anywhere is riddled with them, really. And if you're in America, as far as I'm concerned, like, no, go away. Do not tell a barista to smile. I understand you want great customer service all the time, and I try to provide that every day to the best of my ability. Sometimes there are situations that come up And you know what? Maybe we're not as chipper. Maybe we're a little bit tired. Maybe we just heard some devastating news or something really terrible has happened. But if you patronize us and we're just being like, just, you know, whatever, baseline with you. If you try to tell us to smile, I will bite your face off. I'll do it. I'll do it. Also, don't wait at checkout for your drink. Especially if there are people behind you. That's embarrassing. We're handcrafting our drinks. It's gonna take a minute, and if you have like an additional thing, like a food item, like for the kitchen in the back, it's gonna be a little bit. Don't hold up the line. We have space on the counter on the side for that. So I'm just gonna tell you to wait over there. Don't stand right there in front of everybody. And since we started with talking about opening, we'll talk about closing. This is standard for any place, not just cafes. It goes for stores, other businesses. Don't come in at the last minute, or even 5 minutes, honestly. 10 minutes, 15. I don't like when anybody comes in at the last hour, but I'm very irritable and touchy and like just angsty. But I feel like 5-10 minutes before close is a little bit upsetting. When I was growing up, I was told that being late to something was a sign that you do not have any regard for the other person's time or whoever else is like relying on you to show up. So you are passively telling me that you have not a care in the world for my time and you know, all the things I have to do to close, because closing tends to be a little bit more difficult than opening, I find. Ah! There's a fucking cricket here! Sorry. Maybe he felt very strongly about people coming in at the last minute as well. Where was I? Yeah, don't come in at the last minute. I just don't do that. Okay, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I like being a barista most days. I really love this place that I'm working at right now, actually. It's really convenient and I like my coworkers, and most of the, I swear, like half the people that come in daily are regulars, so they know the deal, they know how it works, they don't get like all fussed up about things. It's just like nice people that come in, it's good. But other days, I just hate it and I can't. But like honestly, who doesn't like absolutely hate their job a few days out of the year, you know? Or several days, or you know. It's a back and forth battle. I don't really know about the psychology behind it, but it's a lot better than being a bank teller somewhere, I reckon. But yeah, if you're a barista or another service worker, feel free to tell us about like your own personal pet peeves, or maybe even things that you appreciate. I might do stuff that I like as a barista, like the opposite of this video, like things that make a barista happy and stuff like that. So yeah, I think I'll do that because this was a pretty negative video, to be fair, but I just needed it out of my system. I just needed the world to know, because the world cares so much, Eddie. Anyway, thank you for hanging out with me. I had a great time. I hope you did too. And yeah, subscribe if you would like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.